Hello and welcome back to Bible Wits Bible Corner. Today we are going to finish up Joshua chapter 13. I'm going to read verses 25 through 33, starting with the English Standard Version. Their territory was Jazer and all the cities of Gilead and half the land of the Ammonites to Aroer, which is east of Rabbah, and from Heshbon to Ramath-mizpeh and Betonim, and from Mahanaim to the territory of Debir, and in the valley of Beth-haram, Beth-nimrah, Succoth, and Zaphon, the rest of the kingdom of Sihon, king of Heshbon, having the Jordan as the boundary to the lower end of the Sea of Chinnereth, eastward beyond the Jordan. This is the inheritance of the people of Gad according to their clans, with their cities and villages. And Moses gave an inheritance to half the tribe of Manasseh. It was allotted to the half tribe of the people of Manasseh according to their clans. Their region extended from Mahanaim through all Bashan and the whole kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, and all the towns of Jair, which are in Bashan, 60 cities, and half Gilead and Ashtaroth and Edrei, the cities of the kingdom of Og and Bashan. These were allotted to the people of Machir, the son of Manasseh, for the half of the people of Machir according to their clans. These are the inheritance that Moses distributed in the plains of Moab beyond the Jordan east of Jericho. But to the tribe of Levi, Moses gave no inheritance. The Lord God of Israel is their inheritance, just as he said to them. New Century Version. The land of Jazer and all the towns of Gilead, half the land of the Ammonites that went as far as Aroer near Rabbah, the area of Heshbon to Ramath-mizpeh and Betonim, the area from Mahanaim to the land of Debir in the valley of Beth-haram, Beth-nimrah, Succoth, and Zaphon. The other land, Sihon, king of Heshbon, had ruled east of the Jordan River and continuing to the end of Lake Galilee. All this land went to the family groups of Gad, including all these towns and their villages. This is the land that Moses had given to East Manasseh. Half of all of the family groups in the tribe of Manasseh were given this land. The land started at Mahanaim and included all of Bashan, and the land ruled by Og, king of Bashan, all the towns of Jair in Bashan, 60 cities in all, half of Gilead, Ashtaroth, and Edrei, the cities where Og, king of Bashan, had ruled. All of these went to the family of Machir, son of Manasseh, and half of all his sons were given this land. Moses had given this land to these tribes on the plains of Moab across the Jordan River east of Jericho, but Moses had given no land to the tribe of Levi, because the Lord, the God of Israel, promised that he himself would be the gift for the Levites. Okay, so again, we're continuing to talk about dividing up the land. What I would like to focus on with this video here is why I read the Old Testament as a New Testament Christian. There is a chance I might have done this in the past. That's okay, I can do it again. So the reason I read The Old Testament is, even though we live under the New Testament, under the new law, we can still look at the Old Testament. We can see what happens when the Israelites followed God. We can see what happened when the Israelites disobeyed God. And we can take that and we can look at ourselves today. Okay? If I disobey God, I'm going to be punished. If I obey God, I'm going to be rewarded. Plain and simple as that. The one thing, though, that is different, and I'm saying this because this is my own belief. If others believe differently, please let me know in the comments. The one thing that is different in the reward and the punishment, well, the reward I don't think is different. The one thing that I think is different in the punishment is this. God directly punished Israel during the Old Testament times. Whenever they did not follow him, he either sent them into exile, he had them wander in the desert for 40 years so that that older generation could die off. All sorts of things like that happened when Israel did not obey God during the Old Testament times. Now, we live in under a new covenant, under a new law. So our punishment is different. We will most likely receive our punishment when we die, because there's two choices when we die. We either spend eternity in heaven, or we spend eternity in pure torture. That's the most family-friendly way I can put it. But yeah, those are the two choices that are given today. And honestly, after Christ died, those were the choices that were given to all of the people that lived before Christ, because when he died on the cross, he died for every single person on this earth that lived even before him, to those of us that live well after Christ did. So, when the Israelites were given this land, it was a promise that God had kept with everyone, from Abraham clear up to now Moses and Joshua. So Israel was going to get this land. Those in Israel that did not listen to God, they were punished. They were killed off. Those that did listen are receiving this reward. So are we listening? Am I listening? Are you listening to what God is telling us to do? Or are we choosing to ignore it and think that we are smarter and know better? It's a good question to think about. I hope you find encouragement in this, and I hope you have a wonderful, God-centered day. Bye.